What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is here. Match preview time. Big game that affects both ends of the table in the Premier League. Top four for one, bottom three for another, unfortunately. But listen, I've got with me a very good YouTuber here, one of the best around. Arsenal fan Curtis Shaw. How you doing, man?
Hey, pleasure, man. Love that intro, by the way, man. Don't worry, the check's in the post, bro. But nah, good to be here, man. You're doing good things on your channel, bro. So pleasure to get the invite on here.
Well, listen, it's good to get you on while we can. I don't know if I'm going to be doing this if we're playing Luton away next season, but we'll see what we can do. But now, listen, as you know, people, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you're watching the playback, leave your comments and score predictions in the comments there too. But Curtis, Arsenal, you're currently battling for top four.
Mm.
Unlike last week's game for us against Man City, where I didn't think there was anything in it for us, I do think that there's some ways that we can get at Arsenal because of the form that you have. You have some really good results, and then you'll do an Arsenal and lose at Everton.
Yeah.
What's your latest feeling on Arsenal as you come into this important run of games?
Bro, do you know what? You just don't know what you're going to get with Arsenal, man. Like, we lost to Palace, lost to Brighton, lost to Southampton, and then we go and beat Man United, Chelsea, and West Ham. Like, we're literally, anything can happen. It's like a flip of the coin. And, I think Leeds will have a little bit of hope that they can get something out of this because I remember we played Burnley at home, drew 0-0, couldn't break them down. Norwich, we only beat them 1-0 at home. Brighton came there and Brighton outplayed us. I'm going to be honest, like they could have beat us by more. So it just depends how you set up. If you turn up and you are quite open and expansive, I think that will kind of play into our hands a little bit. We seem to struggle when teams turn up, they get players behind the ball, low block. We struggle to break them down. And then if you can hit us on the counter attack. So, yeah, it just kind of depends how you set up, in this game. But I think you should be hopeful that you can try and get something out of the game because you just don't know what Arsenal's going to turn up, man. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the open, expansive football that you talk about is a distant memory, Curtis.
Okay. No
It's
Bielsa
long
ball.
gone. Nah, it's long gone, man. The
Yeah.
Bielsa ball wasn't even Bielsa ball this season. And that was part of the problem. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's just one of the problems that we've had this season. But the way that we were setting up, that we were due to set up against Man City before we had a couple of injuries, was probably a back five, two in midfield, two wingers, and a striker, which is very unlike what we've done previously. So there were adjustments going to be made against one of the bigger teams, which was good to see from Jesse Marsh that we didn't have before. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm hoping that we can do. Because if you remember last season, you we went to I think it was at your place. Yes, it was your place. Aubameyang hadn't had a good year, and all of a sudden he gets a hat trick.
Mm.
That's what we were doing, and that's kind of a little bit what was happening earlier this season. Whereas now it's just we're just in a straight battle, three-way battle to stay up, and we're trying everything to get the last bit of juice out of the players that we've currently got.
Yeah.
And we're speaking about juice out of the players, and we can turn to January. You didn't sign a striker, you let Aubameyang go. We've taken risk in not recruiting at all, really, except for Dan James and Junior Firpo and Klaas and a young reserve goalkeeper.
Yeah.
If you miss out on top four this season, is that January going to be the big factor as of why?
Yeah, 100%, man. Like I think our top scorers, Saka, 10 goals. And when you've let a striker go that in the past has scored 22 goals in a season. Listen, he wasn't the Aubameyang of old. I think every Arsenal fan could see there was a decline, but nobody could understand why we didn't replace him. The manager said we had money. We had a £70 million offer turned down for Vlahovic, who went to Juventus. And
Yeah.
it was like, how do it's like selling your car and not buying another car. Like you need, what I mean? It was mad. It didn't make sense. So
Mhm.
if he gets fourth without buying him, he looks like a genius. But if he misses out, everyone's going to say that's the reason we missed out. And it was such a big opportunity. So it's frustrating. It's frustrating, but it has worked out for the better so far. I don't know how, Eddie and is up front. You know him well. You had him on loan. I don't know how this guy is leading the line for Arsenal. I've been spoiled over the years with the strikers that I've seen. to see this brother up front starting. But Lacazette was so bad that Eddie actually looks good up front just because he runs, he shoots, he presses. You know, Lacazette was almost playing in midfield. So recruitment is everything, man. Like you've seen with Leeds. I actually have a little bit of interest in Leeds because I know a guy that works there. And also my uncle's a big Leeds fan. So growing up, you know, I used to like Hasselbank and Harry Kewell. And so I always knew a little bit about Leeds. And like you said, you finished 2 points behind us last season. Like
Yeah.
unbelievable season. I look at the transfer window you had and I'm like, that's risky, man. And obviously you've had Phillips, Bamford, two of your best players been injured for long periods. And I just think, you know, if Leeds were to, because I'm worried for you, I'm not going to lie. I looked at your fixtures and I was like, you're going to have to beat Brighton at home. You're going to have to beat Brentford away to stay in the league, I reckon. And you got us and Chelsea, maybe get a point or something out of those games. But recruitment is everything, bro. You've seen it with Liverpool. The recruitment is the reason they are where they are. So, yeah, with us, though, it's a mad game. Every Arsenal fan's going, oh, we'll beat Leeds, we'll batter Leeds. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I've seen this story before and it worries me. You know, I think if we can score early with the fans behind us, maybe we get on top. But the longer you keep us out is when we might get nervous. So it's an interesting one.
Yeah, and it's interesting you mentioned Eddie Nketiah because he's a hot subject for a lot of Leeds fans that, in all honesty, don't watch a lot of football outside of Leeds United. So when he came on or played against us in the cup and scored, they're like, "Oh, we should get Nketiah back. Look what he can do." But Nketiah isn't it, man. Like even
No.
for us, I still think Nketiah is probably championship. Being honest, I do think that he'd thrive in that league because we saw in the last game, and you would have watched it, Curtis, against West Ham. He had three really good opportunities just to stick it in the bottom corner, but all of them went wide. And that's what he did during his big run. You know, when Arteta gave him a big run, was it last season? He's just not it for me. But that's what worries me because I know he'll probably score this Sunday, and then all these fans saying, "Oh, what are you saying about Nketiah? Pick up the phone, pick up the phone." But it's like no, please. But hey, listen, I don't know what market we're going to be shopping in the summer, so we might have to beg Nketiah come to summer. You know what I mean? But listen, you mentioned Lacazette, and I can't let this go without telling everyone on the stream. One of the funniest clips I've ever seen on football YouTube is Curtis with Lacazette when he's through one-on-one and he puts it wide. Curtis, I replayed that clip about 15 times. Lacazette, you fraud. You fraud, Lacazette. Oh, my God.
I was in pain, you know. This guy, all game, we're trying to break down Villarreal. We get that chance. 50 million French international Lacazette one-on-one. And he puts it wide. And I'm just like, I had a meltdown. Like, my neighbors look at me sometimes. They must think I'm a lunatic. But you know, man, doing these streams, man.
Yeah.
It just spills over, man. You think, how is he missing that? But yeah, man, I feel like we haven't had a striker all season. I can't lie because Oba wasn't on form at the start. Then he left, and then Lacazette was playing like a midfielder. Now we got Eddie up front. I mean, like you said, against West Ham, that game should have been over. You know, he had a one-on-one, puts it wide. And that's the difference at the top level. You look at Liverpool, City, you know, they got goal scorers. They don't miss chances. But yeah, Eddie, man. Eddie's just a stopgap till the end of the season. But now some of our fan base getting hyped saying, oh, do we give him a new contract? I'm like, relax, man. Yeah. If he gets us top four, cool. But then, yeah, man, tap him on the back and wish him on his way, you know. But this is the fan base sometimes. It's a bit mad.
It is, like, it's so reactionary. I mean, like... Nketiah literally, I mean, I had it, trust me, I had messages from people after the your Chelsea game against them where Nketiah scores his first two goals of the season. All of a sudden, also what you're saying about Nketiah now, I'm still looking at the numbers. I'm like, those are his first two goals, right? I haven't missed anything, have I? But that's what it is, isn't it? Football's very reactionary. Whenever someone scores, oh, this is the best player on the planet, it's like, oh, man. Everyone just relax a little.
Just relax, man. Yeah.
But you mentioned Mikel Arteta, and he has made some big decisions over his time. In fact, some of them are still ongoing now. I think as Guendouzi permanently transferred now.
He's gone now, yeah. Yeah, it's done.
I mean, I look at that one, and I asked Turkish this because I just think it was so early in his reign that he was looking to stamp his authority. Do you
Yeah.
think if Guendouzi does that today, as if firing Mikel Arteta's management, that maybe Mikel Arteta says, you know what, just settle down and go again before just bombing him out of the team? Because I think when he first came in, he was looking to make his stamp on the team, and he couldn't be seen to have this young pup just like disrespecting him, kind of thing. Do you think
Yeah.
it would have been different now, or was it just Mikel Arteta's stance? So if you don't play by his rules, you're pretty much out, as we've seen with like Aubameyang and even more so like Pepe right now can't get a
Mm.
kick. What do you reckon?
Yeah, the Guendouzi one, man. We always debate about it because you think now to get a French international centre mid who's 22, he's
Mm,
going to cost you probably 40 million plus if you went
yeah,
to buy him. Um, and we loaned him out with an obligation to buy him for 9 million, and no one could understand that. Why not loan him, see how he does? If he does well, then you can negotiate. You can say, right, you want him 20, 30 mil. But to allow them to just take him for 9 million, I just thought, and like you said, man, I think he just wanted everyone to know I'm in charge. I'll get rid of anyone who's not, on what I'm on. And I think he was a little bit hasty with it. I think now I would like to think that he would be a little bit more patient, but you just don't know because even Aubameyang, everyone was like, "Oh, they'll sort this out," but he never did. So I don't know. It's another one of them, innit? Where if he gets top four, people will forgive him for everything. Aubameyang finishing eighth, Ozil, all of it. But if he misses out on it, then the can of worms opens up. So
mm,
I just think with Guendouzi, he's had this problem a few times. At Arsenal, he had it even when he first he went to Hertha Berlin on loan, and the manager there said he was immature. I think now at Marseille, he's grown up. I think he's become a dad now as well. Something that does make you grow up as a person anyway. So he's
yeah.
probably matured now. When he was at Arsenal, it wasn't quite right. But I just thought to let him go for 9 million was stupid, really. Bad business.
Mm. James is asking about. I think Tommy Yasu's back, isn't he, or did he get re-injured again? But do you know what the latest is on Ben White and Tommy Yasu?
I think Tomiyasu's fine. It was just cramp. He played against West Ham. He came off. Ben White, I think they said 50-50 on Ben White. He's got a tight hamstring. And I don't think he's trained yet. So yeah, that one will probably be touch and go at the weekend, really. You had him, of course, didn't you, at Leeds? I know he did well with it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. He was fantastic for us coming up. He worked really well with our captain Liam Cooper. Was
mm,
really big help for him in the central defense, along with Luke Ayling. They both helped him through and just
yeah,
let him play his game. He was our ball playing centre back. Obviously, it's different levels, Championship and Prem, of course, but he was key to us coming up. He was absolutely
yeah.
sensational. But I don't know if you've seen that from him as of yet. I don't know if you've got 50 million worth of talent, because that was the funny thing for us, me, Curtis, is that we had bids from Brighton rejected for like up to, I think it was up to 30. Don't quote me on that, but 30 million. A
Yeah,
year later, I'm not sure if he increased his value by 20. I know he got England caps, so maybe that's what does it, the
yeah.
England tax. But I'm not sure if he's a 50 million pound defender. I mean, speak to us. What have you thought of Ben White so far?
He's all right. He's all right. I think he's that modern centre back, isn't he? Like he gets on the ball, he'll pass, he'll bring the ball out. I don't see a 50 million pound defender at all. Because when he gets isolated, I feel like you can damage him. I've seen him get done a few times.
Yeah.
He has built a good partnership with Gabriel, because they got Gabriel's like the aggressive one, and then Ben White's the calmer, cooler head. I think if we'd paid 30 million, 35, we'd be like, you know what, that's all right. He's English. I think he's 23. He's in
Mhm.
the England squad. I just felt 50 was a little bit extreme. And as we say, that English tax kind of
Hefty,
came in. Hefty, bro. But
hefty man.
obviously Saliba, man, we're hoping Saliba. He's had a great season, 40 games he's played. He's been nominated for Young Player of the Year in France.
Yeah.
So get him back next season. I'm hoping he can push Ben White on as that right centre back. So, but yeah, I think Ben White, we definitely got bumped a little bit on the price. Definitely.
I mean, it's not the first time. I mean, Pepe has been there,
Yeah.
so I mean,
Oh,
listen.
yo.
But in all fairness, though, Curtis, I think that might have been brown envelope gate, so you
Oh,
might
yeah.
have an asterisk next to that one. So
Yeah, definitely. Some tax write off or something went off there, brother. I'm telling you.
that's an interesting one, though, because listen, I heard you on one of your streams one time, man. I couldn't believe my ears when you said that what if we took Rafinha from Leeds and give them Pepe on the side? I said, what is this guy doing? How dare you?
I remember you commented on that, innit? I said, nah, no chance.
Nah, I mean, listen, there's no chance of it happening. First of all, his money's probably too big for us anyway. He's on too much wages, and just the thing to think that Pepe would be an adequate replacement for Rafinha. I just couldn't believe my ears. I was hurting though, man. I think we had just lost another game. I was like, oh, I can't be bothered to listen to no more Leeds crap.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
No, I hear you. I like Rafinha though, and I think Barca are looking at him, aren't they? And a few others. I think even if you're in the Prem, you're gonna have a battle to hang on to him because World Cup
He's not
year.
staying, Curtis.
Nah.
Nah, no, for me, I did have a thought that before the January window, if we show some ambition and just improve this team, upgrade in a few places to some players that are just near his level, then maybe that gives you the foresight of going into next season in the summer and saying, Rafinha, stay for another year, see if we can get into Europe or not. Now, we have done nothing to keep this guy. That's why no contract's been signed by him or Calvin Phillips. It's pretty obvious he's going to go, and he goes with my blessing because he doesn't deserve to be in a 17th place team. You mentioned Saka's got 10 goals. He's got 10 goals in this team, and although people think that he should be doing more. There's only so much you can do sometimes when the quality around you isn't good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it will show when he goes to his next club just how good he is, and people will be like, "Oh wow, yeah, he really is as good as Leeds fans said he was."
Yeah, I think he's a top player, man. I think every time I watch Leeds, he stands out, and it must be so frustrating being a Leeds fan because I look at your team and I think, why did they not strengthen in the summer? You had an unbelievable season last year. You could have established yourself as a solid Prem club where you're not going anywhere for years. And because you didn't buy anyone really, like James and Firpo hasn't really looked great.
No.
You know, and I just think you took such a massive risk in the summer. And then obviously Bamford and Phillips getting injured. And I don't understand why they did that. You know, I don't get it.
Yeah, Curtis, it's been a long running theme with me on my channel. I've said it all year long. They got comfortable. They're sentimental to the team that got us promoted. It's so obvious as well. They don't, when they should have sold some of these players. The last summer should have been the last time we ever saw certain players like Mateus Click. Other players like that, just cashing on them, get some money back and go again. But between the board, Bielsa, and the loyalty to the players, it didn't happen. And you mentioned big injuries to Bamford and Phillips. That shouldn't affect you because you should have people behind them, pushing them enough to make them sweat when they come back. Now, when Calvin was fit, he just walked back into the team because there's no one there. Bamford at the moment is on the sidelines. I mean, people have an issue with me saying the quote that he said, but he said it. Like the words come out of his mouth saying, if we need the points against Brighton, Brentford, I'll be back for those games. But we need them now. But that's because there's no one really pushing him. And the youngster that we got, Joe Gelhardt, he's a really good young player, by the way.
He looks good, man. Yeah.
He's not been getting the opportunities he should have. There's just been so many reasons why we're in this position, but not regenerating the squad was a big one. And that's on both on the board and Bielsa. They should have upgraded in a lot of positions because it's as I say, I always do that. If you take this player out and put him in another team, would you miss him? And I do it with Adam Forshaw. If he goes to a championship club in the summer, no one would be surprised. Yeah. But he's starting for Leeds United. He's in
midfield.
Yeah,
midfielder, and
if you like, But you know what I mean? That's been an issue, and we're not 17th for no reason. That's the reason why. Let's have a look. I just get a super chat. Brooks here, two insightful fans having great discussion. You love to see it. Thank you, Brooks. Thank you for the donation to the channel. Yeah, and Curtis obviously has got his own major channel. I'm sure everyone knows it, but his link is in the title, so you can't miss it. So this game on Sunday though, Curtis, this is one before the Spurs one, obviously next Thursday, which I'm sure, as somebody mentioned, AFTV have already done a video about Tottenham. I feel very
I know, you know what, I saw that. I said, yo, man, already you lot, I won't be talking about that game until next week, man.
I was like, all right then, so you just take your 3 points, but obviously just going with your football in head. I mean, it's hard not to use your heart sometimes though, but how do you see this game going on Sunday? Do you think Arsenal don't give me a score prediction yet, but how do you see Arsenal setting up in this one?
I think we'll go for it because Spurs play Liverpool Saturday. Obviously, if that goes the way we're hoping and expecting, we'd have an opportunity of being 5 points clear of Tottenham. So I think we will try and have a go at you. We've been starting games a lot quicker the last few weeks, um, and yeah, and Ketia up front, he'll start definitely. We haven't got nobody back apart from maybe Ben White, so it'll be pretty much the same team that played against West Ham. We were awful against West Ham, like
Mm,
really, really bad. But I think West Ham were so tired from their Thursday night game, they couldn't punish us. They rested a few players as well, and we just managed to get away with the points. But I think if we can score early, it will settle the nerves. It's going to be a sellout. It'll be a good atmosphere. I don't think it will be comfortable, because you are fighting for your lives. I've watched you in the last few weeks. I think you have improved under Jesse March. You've had some good results, beat Wolves, beat Norwich. I know the City game, but I think, everybody apart from probably Liverpool writes the City game off.
mm.
Or certainly you don't expect to win, maybe. So I think it'll be a tough game. I do think it'll be a tough game. We've had some difficult games against you. Probably the easiest one was the one this season. I think you had a 16-year-old on the bench, and you was a bit. I think COVID affected you that game. I think you wanted it called off, but I think it will be a
No,
tough
no,
game.
no, Curtis. That and you see, that's another. I mean, again, there's just so many little things throughout the season, but I think any other manager would have asked for that to be called off, but we also
Mm.
wanted the game to go ahead. And at the
Oh,
time,
okay, fair.
we were commended for it. Oh wow, look at these guys playing the game. Well, that's all well and good in hindsight now, isn't it? But
Should have
if it
called it
was
off.
my choice, I was begging for those games to be called off. I've still got my post in there where it got called off against Liverpool. I mean, it
Yeah.
delayed the inevitable, but if we had gone into those games with the squad that we had at the time at Christmas, boy, oh man, the lashings
Mm.
would have been, oh, it would have been
Yeah,
tragic.
yeah,
So, but
yeah,
yeah, I mean, listen, for us, I'm hoping. Listen, it's got to be all heart now to make up for the lack of quality. We need Rafinha to come through.
yeah,
He's going to be the key. I said it on a previous stream, but we need him to get on the score sheet like what Charlison is for Everton. We need him
yeah,
to show up on the board. I know it's not his fault if he can't assist because people aren't running in the box when they should be and everything else like that. But he's got to take it upon himself now to just get us out of this mess and then move on with best wishes.
yeah,
But the heart thing, it's got to be all of that. Unfortunately for us, because it's the lack of quality. The lack of quality is evident when all the running's gone now.
yeah,
A lot of these players were mid-table championship, and it's kind of coming through now. The weekend that we just had was a disaster in terms of losing to City, which was expected, but then Everton winning in the manner they did, and then Burnley
yeah,
coming back. It was a big sucker punch. So now it's up to the players to show some heart and come through and try and get something out of this game. I mean,
yeah.
Mark Cliff here, how's Viduka's fitness? Listen,
Hey,
wheel him out, man. Wheel him out. I
wheel
tell
him
you,
out. Get him and Hasselbank up front, man. I'm
get
telling you.
Pure back on. I don't care, man. Like,
Get them all, man. Get them all. Do you know what? I remember I went to Ellen Road years ago, man. Years and years ago. And like you lot had like the atmosphere up there and everything. Like I just thought, what is this club like? This is a Premier League club.
yeah.
And to get and to take so long to get back up and then kind of have that summer. And I listen, I'm not even just saying it because I'm on your channel. I hope you stay up because I don't like going to Burnley away. I've had enough of going to Burnley. Yeah,
No one likes that.
and no one likes Burnley away, but I'm just like I'm concerned for you. I looked at the fixtures before I came on. I thought Everton look like they've got a few winnable games there at home. And Burnley all of a sudden have just pulled out wins out of nowhere when Dyche went, everyone thought they were gone.
Mm.
And obviously you've got us and Chelsea in the next two games, so it's
Yeah,
gonna
I
it's
mean,
gonna be tough, man.
it is tough. It is tough, Curtis. But the thing is, I'm looking at Chelsea. If we've got to take advantage of their poor form and behind the scenes turmoil. That's on us. We've got to use the Ellen Road crowd to our advantage there. People are asking, would it make the difference against Man City? No, because Man City are used to all of those kind of things. For Chelsea, I think we can rattle them if we get into them early and midweek. Arsenal, I don't know what Arsenal are going to turn up. I mean, listen, we're 24 minutes in. Let people in the chat please get your score predictions in.
Mm.
And while they're doing that, Curtis Brooksy, if we're in trouble, do you think it's us? And this is a safe space, Curtis. You can say if you think it's going to be Leeds, it's fine.
I would say, listen, at the end of the day, you're out of the bottom three. So you can't be, you've still got to make Everton favourites because they're there right now. But looking at their fixtures, I think they're probably going to get out of it, to be honest. So I reckon it's probably between you and Burnley, if I'm being honest. And for me, your last two games are the ones I think you've got to beat Brighton at home. And I think you've got to beat Brentford away because Brentford won't have nothing to play for. I think those two games, if you can get 6 points out of them, Arsenal and Chelsea, I mean, maybe you can get one win out of those two. Hopefully, more the Chelsea game. I don't want you to bother us, but yeah. But I think even realistically, Chelsea at home, you would probably fancy that game as you've got a chance. They're in a little bit of a fluster
Yeah,
at the moment. They might have one eye on the FA Cup final as well.
yeah,
So
exactly.
you might have half a chance there. Even against us, I think Tavares at left back has been pretty bad at times. If I'm Rafinha, I'm looking at him and thinking, I'm going to rip this guy apart. You know what I mean? I think that's where you would have to target Arsenal, is our left back. So it's going to be a tough one. I mean, I was reading they're saying Bamford might be available for this game. I don't know if that's true. I was going to ask you about the team news.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find that out tomorrow. I think the press
Press
conferences
conference.
for Sunday's game will be tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yes, of course, if we've got Bamford back, I mean, it's just a huge boost to have an actual striker on the pitch. It would help.
Mm.
Um, but it's on the players. It's the players, Curtis. It's on. It's
Kevin
word,
Campbell
word,
settings,
to,
bro.
word to
Yeah.
Kevin Campbell. It's the players, Curtis. They've
Mm.
got to they've got to realize the situation they're in and fight for everything now. This is on them. Some of these guys have got to realize as well. This is their best chance of playing Premier League football. Not all of them are going to get a move to a
Yeah.
better club. They're going to come down with us, unfortunately. So they've got to put everything they've got into these last four games, and that's where I'm going for. Now, listen, people have got Arsenal wins here. Even the Leeds fans said an Arsenal win there. What's your score prediction for the game, Curtis?
You know what? Despite the fact I think you make it difficult, I think we'll win 3-1. Which I know. I'll give you a goal because I think Tavares at left back against Rafinha, I think he'll trouble him. If Ben White don't play as well, Holding, even though Holding got man of the match, I think you can get at him. And Tomiyasu's obviously still not fully fit. But I mean, like Angel saying there, I saw that I think you've conceded the most goals in the Premier League, which is unbelievable, really. And I think we will score goals against you on Saturday. So I'm going 3 or Sunday. So I'm going 3-1.
Yeah, Curtis, it was mad. I mean, it's not just a 1 month thing, but when you look at our February, shortest month in the year, and we've conceded the most goals in a calendar year in Premier League history, man. The February killed me, man. I was coming on these
Mm,
streams just dead, like I had nothing.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah,
Was that the 6-0, 6-0 and 4-0 back to back one?
yeah,
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 that was rough, man.
rough. When I tell you, it was not fun doing these streams. I know some people think that when content creators teams lose, they love it. Trust me, I don't love it
No,
at all.
no,
I
no,
can't
no,
stand it. It's no fun for me.
no.
And it was no fun for anyone in the chat. The chat was all depressed. I'm trying to lift everyone up, but then I'm pushing myself back down. Like, I don't know where we're going with this, but we have had a little bit of a revival under Jesse Marsh. It's just that we're unfortunate that Burnley have had the same kind of revival because
Yeah,
it hasn't been bad for the team that we are. It's just that Burnley have come up and had some, quite frankly, excellent wins. You know what I mean? So yeah,
yeah,
you got
yeah. I
three
agree.
one. I'm gonna. My heart's saying 1-1, but that is purely my heart. And in a way, I think that the Leeds players have got to play with their hearts too, because we can't outdo you in quality. But if I'm going with my football head, I'll probably say 2-1 to Arsenal.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Is
that
Phillips and them, man? Is he playing? Is he back now?
yeah, Phillips is back, and he's
Mm,
been he's a difference maker in the midfield. He's a big difference maker in our team. Um,
yeah.
it's not so easy to get through the central of our midfield when he's around. Uh, So yeah, we've got him back. Rafinha should be playing. You need
Mm,
Rodrigo to pick up again. He's gone back into old Rodrigo settings. See,
Yeah.
you've got a problem with Pepe being your record signing. He's ours, and
Mhm.
he's not someone that you say, yeah, he's our record signing. You're like, yeah, he's our record signing.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? You have to whisper it, but
Yeah, yeah.
we need him to get back into the form he had when Jesse Marsh first turned up. So yeah, listen, that's where we are. But yeah,
Yeah,
Curtis,
man.
have you got anything to plug before we leave?
No, man. Listen, thanks for having me on. You know what? It's nice to come on and talk about another team because sometimes always talking about your own team. It's good. I'm looking forward to the game. Obviously, I'm just hoping Liverpool, do us a favor on Saturday night, and then we'll be fired up for this game even more, hopefully. But listen, I hope you guys stay up. Like I said, Leeds, Ellen Road, great atmosphere, proper Premier League club. I'd much rather go there than Burnley away, that's for sure. So I hope you do stay up. But I just, this weekend, just relax. You know what I
Just
mean? But
calm down. Yeah,
nah,
yeah.
man, big up for having me on, man. Keep doing your thing on the channel, bro.
Yeah, man, no problem. And thank you for coming on, man. One of my favorite content
Pleasure.
creators out there by a mile, man. Just keep it real. We've got the same kind of humor as well. We've both done that. The other team might want change from a £10 sale of one of our bad players. I love it, man. We got the same kind of like dry humor, so I love that.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, listen, people, this is the preview done for Arsenal Leeds. I'll be back straight after the game on Sunday with the match reaction. Hopefully, we got something to claw onto, and hopefully, I can make our team. I want our team to do is make Curtis do his watch long. Are you doing a watch long, Curtis?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want him to do his watch long and then get so hot that he needs to go down to Arsenal and do a fan cam as well. That would be the best setting for me. That would be the best thing. But yeah, until Sunday, people, peace out. And thank you again, Curtis.
Big up, bro.